Hey guys, this is Cloudie checking in from the America server, and this video will be a quick guide to Kirze, the competition winner hero, or the fan competition hero who was released just now in the third patch of July. You can see her on the screen. This is her default costume with the unique weapon on her back. Let's just go quickly through how you can get her because she's actually a special hero, and then see what she can do and how good she is or not. You can see the design contest winner, Mochi00 from Japan, was the one who designed her. So yeah, and she's a warrior, a magic warrior. Actually, let's just go real quick and see what how you can actually get her and how it looks like when you have her. My game is glitching a bit, the graphics are out. So after the patch, if you come to the Hall of Heroes, you probably already know the Tower of Ordeals. When you come here after the patch for the first time, you will receive a short cutscene about Castle and Cleo and the others coming here or being summoned here by Helia, who is this lady here, and she will introduce them to the Tower of Ordeals, where you can get fragments and infinity stones, which you use for transcending. So this is like a small guide to transcending, and then you will need to go, instead of the Tower of Ordeal, you will need to go through 5 stages, the Gates of Ordeals, where they meet Kirze, and you get to do those stages, use her a bit, and at the end she just joins your party. So when you do stage 5, Kirze will um, become an available hero to you. You will receive her in your roster, so you don't need to do anything. And she's already level 60 and 5-star, although not transcended. The stages themselves are pretty easy. There is one with Priscilla and Aisha where you can possibly die, because Kirze is alone there. The trick is to, whenever Aisha starts channeling her beam, you use her S2, which will interrupt the beam, and then you can either use your S3 or your S1. You kind of need to save up enough mana for the Aisha beams. The cooldowns are changed a bit actually compared to the real character, but it's not too hard, especially if you already have. That's the one stage where you might get into trouble, provided you have some heroes for the last stage where you will actually use your own heroes. Other than that, you will be using like level 60 heroes who have not been transcended yet. So the difficulty isn't too hard. You can easily do it, I believe. Now, having said that, let's check Kirze herself. So going to the heroes list, just going through all those black icons, and here we go, Kirze. Well, some more black icons, but okay. Let's check her skills first. Slash Blade of Judgment. This is a small frontal AoE or a cleave that does several attacks, 7 attacks to be precise. It does a knockback and a knockdown. So you can actually use this to knock monsters and other players' characters back, which can be pretty useful. The damage isn't terribly high. It's just a filler skill. Low mana, low cooldown. This is what you use in between her other skills. Her skill 2, Disperse Crystal Haze, is more interesting because this is a self buff which has a 20-second cooldown and the 15 seconds uptime, so it's quite close to full uptime. And if you have her unique treasure 2, this goes up to by 7 seconds, so essentially it becomes 100% uptime even on auto, unless she just doesn't have the mana to cast. It will increase her attack speed and all allies by 300%, and what makes it really funny is this shockwave skill, which will do some damage every 2 seconds, and the mini stun, a 0.5 second stun. This is really good because it actually interrupts all casting around her. The skill itself doesn't do too much damage, and it's not a super wide range, but around her everyone will be interrupted. Luckily, she is not a diver hero like most warriors are. Otherwise, this would be pretty broken if you could just continuously lock down everyone that she jumps to. Yeah, let's see. And this is her major nuke, her S3. Essentially what it does is um, it hits everyone in front of her in a straight line, in a not too big straight line, so you can't really hit backliners with this, dealing some damage up front and then causing a small explosion, which applies this Archer Crystal Curse for 10 seconds, which reduces attack speed. And as you hit the target of this cursed target, you will be inflicting a stack of crystal energy, which uh, increases the damage of the curse. When the curse expires after 10 seconds, there will be an explosion. And as you can see, it has a base damage and then an additional damage based on the stacks of arcane crystal energy. Oh my god, I managed to pronounce that. So essentially, you want to keep hitting the target for more stacks. I've played around a bit with this, with the base character in the skills menu, and I could get around 32 stacks on a single target training dummy. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Let's just go through her skills. For now, this is just a leveling skill set, not what I'm recommending to actually use. Let's just go what you actually do need to have in PvE. PvP is a whole different matter. I'm not going to go into that now. Of course, you want to have attack up, and you want to have monster hunting. This is pretty standard. Now, these two skills, if you are hitting a single target boss, because she is kind of aimed for that, this is not that good. If there is only one enemy, the damage is increased by 100%. Not bad, but her S1 isn't really her major skill, so this is a bit so I actually do not recommend it. Now, the duration of stun from the shockwave increases against non-hero enemies. So the S2, that pulsing every 2-second shockwave, will stun for 1 second instead of 0.5. This is a bit so. Not bad. Maybe for stages it's okay. I'm not super hyped about it. However, there is this one that while her S2 is up, she will do 20% more damage to non-hero enemies. So not useful in PvP, but really nice in PvE. 20% is huge as it comes on top of everything else. It's usually cumulative, not additive, so that's kind of nice. Let's see. Increases the attack speed reduction by 300. Could be a PvP thing, not really PvE, I believe. However, this here means that you will get more stacks of arcane crystal energy when there is only one enemy. Now, if this is all hero, all hits and all skills will inflict double that amount, I'm not quite sure. Would have to test this out, and I haven't run her anywhere really yet, plus I'm on a leveling build. Moving on to her S4. For 20 seconds, she will do 25% increased damage to non-hero enemies. Not a big deal, maybe for stages that you do in 20 seconds for quick clears. Now there is the S4 Dark on the other hand, which means 15% increased damage to bosses. This is a no-brainer. Obviously, you want to get it if you are using her as a main DPS to bosses. Then we have every normal and skill attack increases attack speed by 5, and this effect can be stacked up to maximum 100 times, so this means 500 attack speed, which is a lot. That's a lot, really. This is again a no-brainer for her because her S3 needs as many hits as possible, and this way you can have really high attack speeds on her without really sacrificing other stat lines. And if you can fit it in, then of course the Transcendence 5 Light is nice as well, especially as it gives her more speed. Essentially, she can get by without having any speed at all. And I think I didn't go into this skill itself. It gives attack and 200 crit, plus CCs that allies inflict the bosses increase by 20%. So that means that bosses that can be knocked down will be 20% easier to be knocked down with as long as she is around. That's not a bad thing. Kind of sounds like she's made for World Boss 1, maybe some challenge raids or guild raids where she can also shine. Yeah. Now let's move on to her unique weapon. I got this from the event of reaching Transcendence 5 with her. It amplifies the power of arcane crystals and greatly increases the effect range of Bloom Crimson Flower. So if you have this unique weapon, then her S3 will hit in a wider range, which means she might be able to hit backlines with this. It doesn't really say how it amplifies the crystal arcane crystals, if they hit harder this way or anything. That's not really written in the skill description, so I'm not sure. Or maybe that's just part of the lore, so to say. And you also get a proc on normal and skill attacks for 4%. You can deal an additional magic damage equaling 500% of your attack, and against bosses this is doubled. So again, more attack speed means she will do these things more often, and yeah, it helps with stacking S3, it helps with this proc effect, and it's double damage against bosses, so that's pretty cool. She seems to be made into a boss killer. If you transcend this the unique weapon, if you star it up, I mean, then with each star this M damage bonus or damage will go up by 100%, which means at 5 stars it should be 1000% damage. Also, due to this, she scales really well with attack. None of her skills give her attack. Well, her S4 gives her some attack, but not that much, so she scales really well with attack and also crit damage. So those are the two stats you want to look for. But also she doesn't have ignore defense mechanics, so you might want to have penetration as well, unless of course you are dealing with World Boss 1, where you will be doing your bursts when the boss is knocked down anyway, and you get and has no defenses. I do not have her unique treasure, and I said this is just placeholder gear, so let's look what those gears do. Let's just check one of the consumables we have. This should be the selector for unique treasures. Just gonna go through which one gives what. So let's check Kirze, somewhere on the bottom of the list, I suppose. Okay, so this is her S3. I wonder why this goes on top. Decreases the cooldown of the skill by 30%. Pretty nice. Her major nuke gets a 30% decrease in cooldown. That's always a good thing. And there is a chance to gain 1 stack of arcane crystal energy. And gaining 1 stack of arcane crystal energy has a 40% chance to add 3 additional stacks. Now, this is her kind of veil requirement, because as you up this unique treasure, it will increase the percentage. At 5 star, this is 100%. So whenever you gain 1 stack, you will gain 3 stacks instead. And I believe with the S3 you can make this into 2 stacks and then 3 additional. So you would get 5 stacks per attack. That just means that, for instance, even my basic 32 would increase to 5 times that. Yeah, that's pretty brutal, actually. So you could get like 150 stacks instead of 30 or 160, and that's with basic speed. Yeah, so this is what you want to wail on if you really want to make her strong, as well as her unique weapon. Remnant of Hobby, this is for her S2, gives it an additional attack speed, and this is the part that scales as you rank up the skill, and it increases the duration by 7 seconds, which means that it has 100% uptime. This might be really good for autoing stages like in story mode and whatever, or maybe against dragons and stuff, where she will continuously do her stun around herself and get the damage bonus from her S2. So could be a good thing for that use. Otherwise, as a main nuker, this is definitely what you want to go for. Okay. So this is for her skill 1, which increases the damage and reduces the mana cost. Could be a PvP skill or item where you can make her skill cost only 1 mana and have a quick knockback at the start, making her pushing the tank back into the back line of the enemy, and then using her S2 to just keep interrupting them. That might work. There are strategies like that with Chase, for instance, so this could be a thing. I'm not sure how effective it would be. Needs some testing. Maybe some people will see some fantasy in that for PvP. And then there is her S4, increases crit chance, and the effect duration of CC increase changes to 30. So 30 instead of 20. This could be something like issues like a support DPS, and you just want really fast knockdowns, then this might be a good thing. Otherwise, I would recommend her UT3 or UT2, depends where you want to use her. I'm not buying this yet because I'm not sure if I will actually run her anywhere. Then let's just have a quick look at how she actually looks like when she uses her skills. I did a few test runs with her skills, and we can check how my maximum was 32, where basically you want to, since this gives her a bonus to her damage, I will apply this first. You can see that she does this pulsing aura thing around herself, and then you want to do her S3. You can see that now she has a stack there, and if I use this S1, she should get 26, 27, 28, 30. So you can get around 30 stacks with a basic Kirze. Let's just try again. So using her S2, chain into the S3 and then an S1. The S1 gives around 5 stacks. I've tried also just auto attacking, and I got better results. Yeah, like you see, this was 33 this time, so this seems to be what you can get with a basic Kirze. You get attack speed from this. You do this S3 right after, and you will go around 16 to 18 stacks. Her moves are pretty flashy. Looks nice, also pretty lewd as usual, and a cute Neko girl. So if that's the thing, some people have been asking if she's good. I believe she can be pretty versatile in both stages, dragons, boss fights. She can be a main DPS. Not quite sure yet if she can compete with the actual OP heroes like Artemia, Laudia, Chase, Cecilia, but who knows, she might be good actually. I think she gets a basic damage increase against bosses, so on bosses that take more damage from magic, this is pretty cute, sleeping on her scissors. So on bosses that take magic damage, I believe she should be pretty good. And that's all, I believe, from her. Wow, she took the scissors apart and put them together. That looks nice. Yeah, this is when she gets her buff, and Crimson Flower. She lands on the scissor. That's kind of cute. So yeah, that's it then. Our Kirze. Very jumpy and bouncy. Meow. Alright, so I hope this was useful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. and I will try to get back to you as soon as I see them. Thank you for watching. Cloudie signing out. Cheers and bye bye.